I'm ready.
If we choose your tool that you leave in the comments, you will win yourself a Geo derailleur guard. This is their all-new design. Apparently, this goes around your chainstay just with zip ties, so pretty easy to install. And it protects your derailleur in case of an accident. You know, it's supposed to help keep it protected, much like their Geo handguards.
Well, I think it also protects the stuff hitting it more, you know, rocks and all that.
Yeah.
Well, not you said accident.
Well, yeah, if you crash and it drags, how hard the rocks get hurt.
What are you talking about?
You said it protects the things that it hits, too.
Yeah, but protects it from, like, when you hit rocks and stuff. What the are you talking about over there? What are you talking about?
I don't know.
God, you're out of it. Like, when you're riding something like Lizard Trail or whatever, I think it really help with something like that. What, are you alright?
No, I'm not.
Damn.
Could we do that again?
Get off my hand!
Tomatoes! Wolftick Nation, thank you guys for tuning into once again another Wolftick Videos episode.
Let me interrupt you because people love when I do that. We have some tools today. I'm excited about this. There's a tool that I've been waiting for you to open. There's a tool I've been waiting for you to introduce. I'm excited. This is
going to be a different episode, guys. We thought, you know, we were getting a bunch of different things cleaned up around the shop, and we thought, you know what? Why don't we do a tool video? And it's going to be very interesting because it's the Tick's top 10 tools.
Whoa. How come it's not Wolftick's?
It's Wolftick's top 10 tools that we think you guys need to make the job a little bit easier, depending on what you're working on.
It's to make things easier, not you need. It's just things that makes life easier.
Because it makes life easier. Now, let's all face it. We've all used flathead screwdrivers for things we probably shouldn't have. We've used grinders for things we definitely shouldn't have.
Oh.
We've probably messed up more.
You could run B-roll to fill up a whole episode.
We have messed up more things with not using the proper tools, and some things we've actually got the job done by not using them, but it's always good to have the proper tool for the proper application.
Sometimes it's fun to use the wrong tool.
Yeah, it's going to be our top 10 list. We've got a couple of, what do you call those?
Honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions. And we've got a brand new tool that I can't wait to open for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's going to be very cool. So without further ado...
Big Brother Kevin.
Big Brother Kevin hooked us up with it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and break into my number one. Our number one. Alright guys, Wolftick Videos, top 10 number one tool that you need. This here is the Pittsburgh T-handle Hex Set.
Not that they need, it's to make life easier.
To make life easier. I use it on every single build. And the plus...
It's been used a lot.
It's been used a lot. Now, the plus to having the T-handle as opposed to just a regular hex set that your grandma or your mom has in her kitchen drawer is these right here actually have some reach. They're just long enough to get into those little spots. We use them for stems, anywhere from grips to pedals, everything. But a really good set. Not that one's not. Is anywhere from about $30 to $40. We'll put some affiliate links.
I think we got that one from Harbor Freight real cheap.
Yeah, we got that on a deal from Harbor Freight. So guys, number one, Wolftick's. What's very nice to have, not need, is a T-handle hex set. Alright, now, number two. This here, I have used the crap out of this thing. I use it a lot, especially whenever we're working with anything to do with crank sets, right? I have hammered on this thing. It was very budget when we bought it for about $10. It is a crank arm puller. Now I
can't believe that's still going.
Yeah, this thing right here.
That was a long time ago.
I have beat the crap out of this, guys. It is so.
Is that the original one?
Jacked up. This is the original one. This is the original. This grip can just come right off. Now I've hammered on it.
Yeah.
The crank set is definitely one of the most important tools whenever you want to take off some crank arms or change. Say you have a sealed bottom bracket and you want to change out to a hollow. Say you want to do an IXF. This right here is mandatory to take off your old one, and we've used the crap out of these. So there's some different options here. I like the one with the handle personally, but if you have just a little 15mm wrench, you can actually use this guy here. But yeah, man, very important tool to have. Number two, and these are right here are very budget. You know?
They're budget, and you, I would say you use that one quite a. I mean, heck, just about every bike has gotten use.
And I know there's like a park tool one out there. A lot of people recommend getting. It's like $15. It has a little bit thicker,
recommend anything.
A little bit more leverage on the handle. But these right here definitely get the job done. So if you guys are looking at working on your crank set and want to take off your stock, make sure you get a crank arm puller.
I'm gonna say sometimes on those, it's almost dangerous to have too much leverage. Yeah, trace.
All right, number 3. This tool here, whenever you are dealing with a free hub, right, and say you want to change your cassette, everybody knows what it is, and it's kind of hard to find. Like, I remember me, until we started having people send us tools in the Wolftick Nation, it was hard for me to type in, like, what tool was this when we were newbies. These here are Lockring tools, okay? These are Lockring remover tools. This is what you put on the Lockring on your cassette, and basically you can have either like a...
This is what most people have, that most people start out with.
This is what most people start out with, and these things are like $10. They're very cheap. Get a little crescent wrench on there, get some leverage, or a pipe wrench, monkey wrench. I'm all about it, right? Yeah. Now, I wouldn't recommend it, but get the little extra leverage, you might need that. And if you want to go the full professional way, this here was sent to us by a old big sister Brandy. This Lockring tool has a lineup pin, and it is just very nice.
Thing's
very
almost
good
like
quality.
that's like cheating.
This is pretty much cheating. I mean, no labor required. You just stick that sucker in there and go.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Oh boy.
I want you to hold that. Hold that right there. All right, now these next ones that we're going to be showing you, you can do it by hand.
You can do it by hand?
You can do it by hand. Yeah. You can use a hammer. You can use a screw. But the chance of you getting lined up just right are pretty...
Low?
Yeah, pretty low.
I mean, it's gonna be, all of our early ones were kind of a little off.
Yes, and these here, guys, these are Star Nutt Setter tools. Now, if you guys are be installing a new fork, everybody knows what these are all about. You can go to a bike shop. They usually charge you about $10 to $12 to set one, and these right here are about anywhere from about $20 to $30. Let me show you guys the way this works. These are pretty cool because you pretty much have, I don't know, it's pretty much about 99% chance of actually getting a straight Star Nut set on your steer tube.
Did you just make that number up?
99%. So this is what you do here. You get your little head, right?
Whoa.
And you put your Star Nut on the tip of it. All right, screw that in there. Now you get your housing. You put your Star Nut inside the housing, and this right here is steer tube that we cut off of our fork. You put that over your steer tube, and then it's hammer time. You just hammer down on this guy here, and that sets your Star Nut perfectly centered inside your steer tube. So such a cool design. There are some different options here. Just very simple, very easy. Again, I've gotten a stem bolt and actually hammered in there, and this makes life a whole lot easier. It makes the job clean. And yeah, so
Sloth Squatch sent you one of them. I forgot who sent the other one.
Yeah, I forgot who sent this one.
Let us know. Remind us who sent the other one.
It's pretty much the exact same thing.
I don't know. I can't remember. I got too many names in my head.
Yeah, but those there are very nice tools to have in the shop. And again, those are like $20, $25, $30. Not very much at all.
I'm not sure what they are. And
it sure does save your butt whenever you're in a pinch and wanting to get something lined up perfectly.
Those are not. That's definitely a convenience thing. It's not really important at all to have them. But boy, once you use one, you don't want to do one without it. That's what
exactly. All right, coming at number 5. These are bottom bracket and headset cup installers, presses, pretty much. Installers, you want to get fancy.
No,
now, this is another one of those tools that you don't have to have, but it definitely makes the job a lot easier. This one here was sent to us by our boy Chris H over at the shed. And basically, man, you put this on one of your cups, you put that over your steer tube, and if you guys have been watching the channel, you totally understand this tool, but you just basically press down on this, and it just sets it nice and straight for you, because definitely you do not want to get your headset cup crooked and mess it up.
No, and that was a massive upgrade over the one that you made yourself.
Huge upgrade. Yeah, now before that, Chris H saw me, the whole Wolftick Nation saw me struggling with this thing. It's basically a piece of all thread with some big old washers on there and some nuts on the side.
It worked, though.
It worked. I pretty much used it till the threads were all tore up. But number 5, again, you don't have to have it. It makes the job a whole lot easier.
That one,
if you're trying to do your
that
own
was a little more important than the Star Nut Setter, just because if you mess up on that, that's bad. If somebody mentions a tool that we missed on this list, that is something that they tell us what it is, we look it up and say, dude, we could use that. I think the first person to mention something that we decide what to order, we should do that giveaway on.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
So watch this whole thing. The Geo giveaway.
We'll show you what we're going to be giving away. That's a good idea. Yeah. Number 6.
So the best tool that we don't have.
All right, this one here is very budget, and this goes right along with taking off your crank arms. The bottom bracket removal tool. And this here is mostly for the sealed cartridge bottom brackets, or even those really, I don't know, ones that aren't sealed, like on some of the stock bikes, like the Ardor, the Axum, things that are just completely open. Hold that, I'm going to show you guys what we use it for. All right, so you guys see this? This here is a bottom bracket, right? And it's a non-sealed bearings, if you guys see that.
That's what comes stock in a lot of the cheap bikes. It's horrible.
Now this here, all those teeth, this is the cup, right, that holds it in. So what we do with this tool is we stick it on the, after we take the crank arm off, we stick it on there, and we're actually able to get a really good bite on there and take that out of the bottom bracket housing. So this tool here is very helpful, especially if you're going to be taking off your cranks, as we stated earlier, and basically getting a new bottom bracket or just a whole new crank set.
I think really good bite is subjective because
very hard. Yeah,
it's always difficult.
A lot of people,
you have to put a lot of pressure on.
Everybody's been saying just get an impact, but power tools and us won't really get along. But anyway, there are some different options here. This one here is hooked on a 1/2-inch ratchet. If you guys don't have the ratchet, much like a lot of these other tools, you can use a crescent wrench just the same.
Or a big old pipe wrench.
Or a big old pipe wrench, yeah. We're not recommending stuff. Okay?
No.
Yeah. Don't do what we do. Coming in at number 7. Everybody's seen one of these and they're like, what in the world is that used for? Or how do I get my hands on one? Well, guys, good news. I'll put one in the affiliate links below. Now this here is a hollow bottom bracket tool. It works on every single IXF crankset that we've ordered and every bottom bracket that looks like that. So if you guys are worried about the millimeters and how many teeth and everything something needs to be, and you're installing an IXF or a Ganopper or a JG bike, any type of hollow bottom bracket that looks like this tool works for, at least it has for us, okay? And basically to either tighten or take one off, you stick it on the outside there, it lines up, and you just use it like a regular wrench. This tool right here has saved my butt, and this right here was, I think, an Almer's brand. I got it for like $12.
That's also been around forever.
And this thing is like one of the first ones we ever got on the channel. So very good tool, very budget, and it's just reliable, very reliable tool. And you have to have this to tighten these on there properly. And everybody has this tool. Now the great thing about this tool is you can get it anywhere. Hell, you can get it at a grocery store. It is a Chainbreaker Tool. Okay. Now, if you guys are if you guys are working on your group set, okay, and you say you need to resize your chain, or you're getting a whole new group set and you need to put a new chain on there and you have to resize it, this here will break your chain. We use the crap out of these all the time. It will break your chain to help you resize it. Just make sure when you break your chain, you break it on the proper link. And if you guys want to know what that's all about, check out our resizing your mountain bike chain video. We have a lot of videos.
What's funny is we've only done a couple of sort of how-to, but they're not how-tos, how we do things, and that's one of them. And I have to say that was a decent video.
This tool here is a little bit more expensive depending on where you got it. We got this one from Harbor Freight,
for cheap.
And this here is a, everybody knows that's been watching the channel, it's a caliper tool. Now, it's not the funnest looking of tools, and I'll be honest with you, when I first got this thing, I was a little intimidated, because I was like, well, crap, man, you know, it does this, and it's millimeters and inches and fractions and stuff. But we got this thing.
Math is never your subject.
No, we got this thing for like 20 bucks, and we always use it. Now, really important thing is if you want to go anywhere from a seat post tube or a steerer tube or a fork stanchion, a bottom bracket, anything you can measure in inches, millimeters, fractions. It's a very good tool to have if you plan on working on your bikes. Again, it's not a must because you can use old tape measure, but there are some places that you can't get in, and for some reason everything bike is millimeters, you know?
Yeah.
So it really helps.
No, we use that a lot.
We use the crap out of this tool. Alright, now coming in, last tool that will make your job a little bit easier. Okay, now this one here is very underrated tool, and I'm so glad my buddy Caleb gave me a deal on this. It was like 20 bucks. And I need to get another one. We need to get another one.
That was like right at the beginning of the pandemic, I think.
Yes. Guys, you can get it for about 30 bucks. This is a fork pump or a shock pump. This is so important to have. There's a lot of guys out there that will get a like an air compressor and think that they can put it in there.
Yeah, I know a guy that did that.
But they will blow out your seals. I've done it. Yeah, they'll blow out seals. This right here limits the air at a really good pressure. It also has a little bleeder, so after you get your pressure in there, if you've gone too much, you can bleed some of it out. And the chamber in here is actually designed to let out the littlest, if to none, of air possible. So
I don't know about the blowing out seals and all that with the compressor. I don't confirm that, but with that's actually a high pressure pump.
Yeah, and it goes up to 300
but it just
PSI.
pumps exactly. Compressor doesn't. They're usually about 100, 120 at best. Some go 135. What I'm getting at is that actually goes a lot higher pressure, but it does it in very small increments.
Yeah,
so you can control it.
Yeah, very good tool to have.
That one's actually more, I would say that's almost more of a have-to than a lot of these other tools.
Really?
Because if you have a shock or a fork, you pretty much need that.
To set it. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so that is our top 10. Now remember, guys, if there's a tool in here that we have not shown you, including our new tool we're going to show you and the honorable mentions, put it in the comments, and if we give you credit and go, hey, you know what, they're right, we need that tool, we will give you, basically, we're going to do a little giveaway action with a Geo handguard, something that they just came out with. Okay, and we're going to show you guys at the end of the video. So a chance to win, stay tuned.
The
honorable mentions. Number 1 is a rubber mallet.
That we're supposed to do a video on a tool haul we did a while back, and you never got to it, and you've been using that thing. I told you, don't you dare take that tag off.
Yep, sometimes taking stems off, sometimes setting crank sets, the shaft, if you will, trying to smack that sucker in there. This thing right here is just good to have. It is such a good tool to have.
You've used that quite a bit.
I mean, again, you don't want to be marring up your aluminum frame or your crank arms, anything like that. So the rubber mallet is such a good tool.
That one's from Walmart. We'll have a link to that, too.
And last, on the honorable mention, before we get into our new tool and show you guys the giveaway, these here are cable cutters. These things are so nice. I've used them to cut brake lines. I don't recommend it. I've used them to cut shifter cables, and also used them to cut lines or cables for dropper posts, for shifters. These things right here are very sharp, and they stay nice and tight, and they just do a really good job to make sure that cable doesn't fray.
Yeah, you get excited with those and cut all kinds of stuff. I've caught you.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's just a very good tool to have in your shop.
That one was.
These are about $27.
That's not the top line. That's kind of middle.
Yeah, these are $27, but
you've
sharp.
Used them all a lot. They're still sharp. Yeah, they're still good.
Introducing something new. Old big brother Kevin got this for me. This is the Vibrelli torque wrench set. Now, torque wrenches are very important to have in the shop, especially if you want to do a good, proper, clean job on anything that you're working on. And of course, I'm a professional at it. Trying not to strip things out.
You're a professional stripping, not professional.
I'm a professional stripper. All right, here she is. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to show you guys this, and then we're going to be showing you that giveaway. Torque wrenches are so important. I found that out.
Yes.
All right, now I don't need the directions. All right, guys, so this torque wrench feels pretty good, okay? And the cool thing about it, you can see this here, you pull this little sleeve down, and right here we've got torques and newton meters all the way from 2 to 20, and you just turn this and it gets you all the way up there. That is cool,
That's
man.
like a torque. That's like a torque wrench I have for vehicles.
Yeah, very cool.
How's the indicator when you hit torque spec? Put a deal on it. Hold
let's see what it looks like. Give me them directions. All right, let's show you guys how this thing. Works. Right now we're set right at about 8 to 9 newton meters. Okay, and now listen for the click. And that's it.
Yep.
Cool, man. Big brother Kevin, thank you so much for sending it. Now we've got 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10 on the Hex, and then we've got a T10, T25, and T30 torque bit. And the things that those can be helpful for is going to be whenever we're setting our rotors. All right, ready to talk about that giveaway?
Yeah, let's talk about the giveaway.
Now, Wolfman over here said he wants to do a giveaway on this video. Okay? Yeah. And the giveaway.
Our boys at Geo Handguard once again.
They hooked us up with wanting to do a giveaway. Now, on this episode, every single tool that we mention, if you guys have a better tool or a tool that we go, you know what, we really should have one of those, and it has to be on the budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it needs to be decent. It can't be something super expensive.
And something that we're going to use a lot.
Yeah,
you guys have watched the videos.
Something we think we'll use.
Yes. Now you're saying don't leave a link.
Do not leave any links in the comments,
just
please.
Put
if you put links, YouTube gets picky about that. Just don't put links.
And won't let us put the comment. All right. Are you guys ready for the giveaway? It is going to be the Geo Derailleur Guard.
I think it's Derailleur Guard by Geo.
Derailleur Guard by Geo. Now, Geo is the ones that brings you the helmet for your hands, right? You guys have seen it on our Monster Mouse. We did some giveaways with that. They're big supporters of the channel.
Not even a helmet for your derailleur.
No, helmet for your derailleur. So, basically, they said, you know what? To avoid, possible damage to your derailleur. You brought up a good point when we talked about doing like the lizard trail and rocks.
There's a lot of rocks and stuff. When you go through areas that are real tight, sometimes you get that derailleur banged around. Mm-hmm. That might come in handy during that.
Now, apparently, this is just all about zip tie installation. You put it around your chainstay. That's your cassette. Here's your derailleur, completely in the safe zone. Finish your ride with Geo. Let us know in the comments, guys, on the tools. Appreciate you guys watching Wolftick videos as always.
Down there.
Appreciate you guys watching Wolftick videos as always. Please like, please subscribe, become part of the Wolftick Nation. Buy us a cup of coffee.
Yeah, if you want to help your boys out.
Buy us a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to become a patron and check out some more unedited content, some raw stuff, some extra stuff that we can't show you on YouTube, maybe me washing cars,
No.
Check out Patron.
No, there's no washing cars. I don't know. There's a lot of yelling and screaming and unedited language. I can tell you that part. So you got to be prepared.
We'll see you on the next one.
Yep. Thanks for stopping by.